docents. It's your favorite grades coordinators coming to you from Shea Slaymaker. We just want to give you a quick update on what our projects are for next month, February, actually this month. We are doing Seurat. Our first project involves this famous painting, Ferris Bueller's Days Off. You might recognize it from it. It's in the Chicago Museum of Art. We are going to give the kids... Are you Cameron? Are you Cameron from the movie?
Totally Cameron. Sorry.
We are going to give the kids this piece of paper if they would like. It is just a little cutout, a little portion of the painting, and they are going to take Q-tips. We will have bags of Q-tips in the closet. They are going to take Dixie cups that you have put a paint in, just a cupful of paint, a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. You barely want the bottom of your cup to be covered with paint. They're going to dip their Q-tips in the paint, and then they're going to dot along the lines. We want realistic colors, not arbitrary or abstract colors. They're just going to dot. Pointillism is what we're going for here. Let me show you a few examples of what our kiddies did. This is a third grader. This is sixth grader. This is kindergarten.
Hang on.
Actually, I think this I think is sixth grade.
That's sixth grade.
Anyway, the kids worked on this for 15 minutes and they were kind of bored by the end. So this is definitely, we think it should be your second choice project. We're really going to push our other project, Compliments of Mary Moore. Okay.
Hang on, don't go anywhere. Okay, and a direct ripoff from Mary Moore, who did the Mosaic Public Art and took it to a whole new level. We thought it would be great to actually incorporate that and bring it into Grace. So what we did here is you're going to be using an actual poster board. The supplies will be available in the closet. You're going to divide that up into roughly 30 tiles. If you want to do less, depending on your class size, you can do that. We had 6 people here today, so we did 6 different little tiles on the board. You take the piece of paper, divide it into the number of kids you have in the class, and then you number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or however you can to keep track of it so that you can put the puzzle back together again when it's all said and done. The question will be asked, well, I only have 25 kids in the class. Obviously, you're going to have an even number. Maybe somebody that finishes early can then decorate the extra tiles, or you can decorate the extra tiles depending on however you want to handle it. So anyways, divide it up so that each kid will get their own. Prior to cutting it out, what we're going to do is we're going to give back to the school on this one. We did Grace in this case. What you're going to do is you're going to write the teacher's name in big curly letters onto the actual board itself. So if you have Mrs. White, it'll be W-H-I-T. If you have whoever, so write the person's name on it. Amy came up with a really good idea for those of you that have small little names for your teachers. Instead, do the name, and then on the tile, the kids can write their initials and then do the initials. So what we did is once we then cut the tiles out and the name is actually on, you've written the name on the poster board, you've cut the tiles out, you're then going to have just the line that's on there. Using the provided sponges that are going to be in the room, and they're very tiny cut sponges. They're going to dip, again, take the Dixie cups, put the smallest amount of paint in these, just like with the other ones, just the smallest amount of paint. Take your sponge, use a primary color only. In this case, we've used red because it pops. It really looks good. Dip it, and then you're just going to trace the lines using the sponge work. And you can see here the very different levels. This was mine, this was Amy's, this was Josh, who's in kindergarten, this was, I think this was, actually I know this was second grade, third grade, sixth grade. So you can see the very different levels of age group. It can be done for everybody. So you sponge the lines that will ultimately be the letter. Then you need to fill in the negative space. Again, the goal here was to use 4 colors and limit the palette. Don't just throw 15 different colors. Put a small little bit of paint in it. In this case, we've used the dark blue, the light blue, the yellow, and the white for the background. Little bit of paint, then you take 2 or 3 Q-tips, put it in the paint. We think 3 to 4 kids can share one color of paint. Again, we're not trying to make this the mural project where paint goes everywhere, so they can use the Q-tips that way. And then they're just going to backfill the space using the dots to create the pattern. When it's all said and done and dries up, you're then going to mount it to mural paper. We'll have the big rolls of mural paper in the coat closet. Yes, it will be wet, so you're going to need a chance to get it to dry out, but you'll paste it to the mural paper. My thought is maybe while it's wet, you can still mount it to the mural paper right there, and then we can hang it up in the Grace closet. The point is that we don't want it to get so big that we cannot fit it into your portfolios. We're running out of storage space. We want to make sure that we can get it into your portfolio. The mural paper will be colored, so it will create a nice frame around it. In Mary's case, actually I don't know if Mary's case, I'm thinking for my classes I'm going to spread these out just a little bit so it looks like there's a little bit of mortar or grout in between each tile. For those of you that want it to match up perfectly, then do it that way. So again, points are poster board, teacher's name, write it. Turn it over, divide it into however many kids are in the class. Number your tiles so you know how to get it back together again. Use a primary color. We suggest red. And then choose 4 other colors for the pointillism on the background. In this case, it was dark blue, teal, white, and yellow. Glue them back together onto the mural paper, put it in your portfolio. And that's the project. As far as any leftover time, Amy already touched on, you can give them the Seurat coloring to do that as well. If you would like to do it where the kids, instead of doing the teacher's name, they can do their own initials, and they can do a whole collage of pointillism with their initials. So any of those ideas, marriage, etc., that's the way to go. Point is we wanted to give this to the teachers as kind of a gift after Grace. Anything else?
I think that's it. Go 49ers!
Boo! Come on, Ravens!